Peace, Soul family. I'm back again with another message, another download for the collective. This message is in regard to being hyper vigilant as well as being hyper independent. Starting with hyper vigilance, it's okay to be vigilant, essentially being careful and watchful of possible difficulties and dangers. However, when it comes to hypervigilance, it's like expecting to see possible dangers and difficulties show up in your reality. This is a bit excessive and extreme. We should be careful when it comes to being hypervigilant, and this can arise from different childhood wounds where you didn't have an adult around that made you feel safe, that made you feel like you were protected, and it's just that we have to come to the realization that we have to be our own protectors. We have to give ourselves that level of comfort and safety that our inner child needs. When it comes to hyper independence, it's okay to be independent, essentially thinking for oneself and acting for oneself, not depending on others for your livelihood or sustenance. But it's a bit excessive and extreme when you cross over into the realm of hyper independence, where essentially you're always depending on yourself for everything. You're not allowing yourself to ask for help. You're not allowing yourself to be cooperative and work with others. You're essentially closing yourself off from being able to receive help in the many forms that it can arrive in. Being hyper independent can arise from situations to where your needs were never met as a child or were rarely met, and you always had to figure out a way to essentially help yourself because you weren't able to ask others for help or you weren't able to receive the help that you needed in those times. So we develop that type of wounding from our childhoods, and essentially it falls back onto our parents not giving us the time, attention, and assistance that we needed as a child. So it can develop some very heavy independence attributes that can become unhealthy if left unchecked. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to work with others and not always having to depend on yourself to get the job done. And to the divine masculines in the collective, I wanted to touch on the fact that it's okay for us to be at rest sometimes. We do not have to always be in the mode of taking action. And when we're not taking action, you should not have to feel like you're less than a man or you're less than, anything. You should not have to feel like your worth or your worthiness goes down when you're not taking action. Your worthiness is not tied to your action taking. You are worthy regardless. And the action you take should be inspired action. It shouldn't be just aimless taking action for the sake of taking action because you feel like as a man that is what men do. It's okay to not always having the answer. It's okay to not always being able to take action. It's okay to just rest and rejuvenate and allow yourself to just be. When you have faith in God, the Most High, the universe, whatever term you choose, when you have that strong faith, you know that your actions will be inspired. The answers that you need will come. For the last part of this message, I would like to touch on perfectionism and how, as a child, we may have not been properly validated, seen, and heard to cause us to overcompensate in seeking outside validation to try to prove our self worth to others. We were all created perfectly to be imperfect. The Most High, God, Source, cannot use perfect beings. Perfect beings are not relatable. Therefore, it is for us to understand that perfectionism is something that is unobtainable and unrealistic. We should always strive to be our best, our highest version of ourselves, yes, but know that it is okay to make mistakes. It's okay to quote unquote failure, to have failure in our lives because essentially it's just a lesson. You never truly fail unless you give up. As long as you keep going, you're just learning lessons and gaining blessings. So I want you to know that it's okay to you know, not try to be perfect all the time. To just be yourself, however that may look, that may come off to others. Like, I'm not one to judge, as in no one no one should be judging others really. Honestly, if you're not able to judge yourself, how can you judge someone else? So if in the fact that no one is perfect means that if you judge yourself, you're going to find somewhere where you can improve as well. So there shouldn't be any judgment of others. It should only be judgment of self, and it should only be competition with self, my old self versus my new self. So let go of perfectionism and just be you.